Honestly, I think this is a very competitive fight. I would love to see Khabib versus Ferguson. Now, I've spoken to Khabib's dad once upon a time where I think they were matched up for the first time. I was in England and Khabib's dad was in the hotel lobby, and we were talking about, through his translator, we were talking about the Khabib Ferguson fight. He was doing an interview. I was doing an interview right before him with the same reporter, and we got talking about Ferguson versus Khabib. And Mr. Norma Nomedov, he had a lot of respect for Ferguson. You know, he doesn't do a lot of interviews, but he was telling us that Ferguson is a very, very tough fight. And he was saying that he's very athletic, he's great counter wrestling, his spinning on the ground, all the stuff that he does is very hard for a wrestler to control. But of course, he was very confident that his son would win. Absolutely, he was very confident. But he was showing the respect to Tony. This is when the first time they were booked. At that time, Tony had not gone through this monstrous win streak. You know, his name was not as big as it is now. So back then, I thought Tony was great. I thought he was amazing. But Khabib's dad, he was telling us, look, Ferguson is underrated. Ferguson's a lot better than people think. He actually saw that way back then. And I'm telling you, that was maybe at least 3.5 years ago, I would say, maybe even more. It was quite a while ago. And I was just amazed how much respect he had for Ferguson. And don't forget, we knew Khabib was great back then. We knew Ferguson was great back then. But today, these two names are probably the two biggest names in the lightweight division. So in the last 3 years, these two guys, these two men, have had unbelievable wins, like really incredible wins, back to back, non-stop winning and dominant ones. And this is before Ferguson had beat Barboza. This is before Khabib obviously had beat McGregor. I mean, this is before they had become real, like, legends. Everybody knows their name in the lightweight division, and the casual fan knows their name. Obviously, now every single MMA fan knows their name, not just a hardcore regular fan. So I'm really impressed by how Khabib's dad picked up how far he thought Ferguson would go. Justin Bieber versus Tom Cruise. That's from Justin D'Agostino. Interesting. You know what? I heard about this fight. Somebody who was saying that. Was it on YouTube? I think I saw it on YouTube. Guys, I'm only ever on YouTube. You know, I get my news from YouTube. Why would Justin Bieber want to fight Tom Cruise? I have no idea what the backstory is. But from what I understand, Justin Bieber does box. I don't know if Tom Cruise has any fight training at all. So I have really no idea. Really no idea. But that would be interesting. I'd love to see two actors, you know, maybe do boxing with big gloves. You know, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But it would be interesting to see them, you know, what they're made of. I would love to see what they're made of, actually. That would be kind of interesting. You watch Justin Bieber sparring. That's from Joseph Jed. No, I haven't. But you know what? I got my computer right here. Let me pull that up. Justin Bieber sparring. This one is from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. All right, let's see this one. I'm going to put the volume up here. What I'm watching here, I'm watching somebody, one of you asked me about Justin Bieber sparring. Let me see here. Okay, the footage is edited. They look like two, you know, very green boxers. The guy he's sparring with is like 50 pounds heavier and is a complete beginner, a total beginner. And Bieber's fighting in that Philly shell. You know, he's got one arm down. His jab is down by his waist. You know, he seems to be moving kind of stiff here. His chin is up. He's a novice, you know. He's, you know, I'm sure he's learning boxing. It's going to take him a long time to get really good at boxing. You know, he's doing it at a novice level. But look, at least he's sparring. At least he's training. And look, he's not scared to glove up with a bigger, stronger guy. So even though he's a novice, we all started at this level. And again, this was 3 years ago. I'm sure he's improved a lot since then. But he's definitely, in this video that I'm watching, published by Discover the Fights 3 years ago, you know, he's still at that novice level. Tom Cruise wrestled in high school. That's from Michael M. Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. So maybe they do MMA then. Maybe these two get in the cage. Who knows? I heard that, yeah, I heard that somebody might want to promote that instead. I heard McGregor might want to promote that fight. I saw a headline. I think that would be brilliant. That would be fantastic. I'm buying that fight for sure.